Imagine the following scene. You are dating an incredible woman. Conversations flow, chemistry seems to be in the air, but suddenly, everything changes. She starts to distance herself, her messages become spaced out, and you don't understand where you went wrong. Have you ever been through something like this? The truth is that many men face this silent dilemma, without realizing that they are ignoring subtle signs and feminine behaviors that could have revealed everything they needed to know. The reality is that female behavior hides layers of meaning that go far beyond what is seen on the surface. If a woman likes the doggy position, it means much more than just a preference. It can indicate deep aspects about her personality, emotional needs, and even hidden insecurities. Ignoring these nuances can mean missing valuable opportunities for genuine connection, and worse, repeating the same mistakes without understanding why. And here's the problem. How many times have you felt like you did everything right, but still weren't able to create a true bond? The feeling of being just another person in her life, of being exchanged or even ignored without explanation? The fear of not being enough haunts most men, but few really know how to decipher the signs and understand women's real expectations. The good news is that understanding female psychology is not an indecipherable mystery. By applying the principles of Stoicism, you can finally eliminate uncertainty, see beyond words, and build solid relationships based on trust and mutual understanding. When you understand how the female mind works, every gesture, every look, and every word takes on a new meaning. In this content, you'll discover powerful insights into how women really think, what they want, and how they expect to be understood. Let's unveil together the 5 emotional, behavioral, and biological aspects that make all the difference when creating true connections. The 5th is surprising. It's almost never talked about. This is the time to let go of frustrations and finally master the secrets of the female mind to build stronger, more authentic relationships. Let's move on to the secret psychology of women and love. But first, check if you are already subscribed to this channel, because here I will bring a series of videos like this that will help you deeply understand the nuances of female behavior and build deeper connections. Authentic. Aspect number 1. Psychological insights into women and intimacy. The complexity of human relationships has always intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers over the centuries. In the field of intimate interactions, women tend to see the continuity of the bond after the moment of physical proximity as something essential for strengthening the emotional connection. Unlike men, who often disengage quickly, women's need to prolong contact arises from a deeply rooted biological and psychological construct. Studies indicate that this desire to maintain post-intimacy closeness is related to the release of oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone, which reinforces emotional bonds and intensifies the feeling of security and belonging. This search for emotional continuity is not just a matter of personal preference, but a dynamic that shapes expectations and satisfaction within a relationship. When these expectations are met, experiences become more rewarding, creating a cycle of pleasure that is renewed with each interaction. The feeling of comfort and connection triggered by a positive intimate experience can be the trigger for more intense and frequent desire, thus strengthening the bond between partners. This virtuous cycle of pleasure and satisfaction reinforces the idea that emotional and physical intimacy go hand in hand, directly influencing the quality and longevity of relationships. Another interesting aspect is the impact of physical self-touch on women. Research shows that women who develop a closer relationship with their own bodies tend to have higher hormone levels, which directly influences self-esteem and sexual satisfaction. Body self-knowledge, promoted through touch, allows for a deeper understanding of their own needs and preferences, resulting in a more enriching experience for both themselves and their partners. This factor highlights the importance of connecting with oneself as a path to healthier and more balanced relationships. Within this context, sexual compatibility emerges as a crucial element for the success of a relationship. It is notable that 80% of women consider this aspect before making a serious commitment, reflecting the importance they attribute to physical and emotional harmony. A harmonious relationship in this sphere transcends mere physical attraction, encompassing factors such as open communication, respect for individual needs, and a mutual willingness to explore and understand each other's desires. Sexual attunement goes beyond the practice itself, involving an intuitive understanding of the rhythms, limits, and expectations that each person brings with them. The Stoic approach to these insights can provide interesting insight into how to balance desires and expectations. Philosophers such as Epictetus and Seneca emphasized the importance of self-knowledge and acceptance of human nature as tools for a fulfilling life. Applying these principles to intimate relationships, it is clear that awareness of differences and adaptation to the partner's needs are fundamental to building a lasting and satisfying relationship. Stoicism teaches you to cultivate patience, empathy, and understanding, essential elements for dealing with the complexity of human interactions. Finally, understanding the psychological aspects that involve female intimacy is essential to creating stronger and healthier bonds. The appreciation of post-intimacy closeness, the positive impact of rewarding sexual experiences, the role of self-touch on self-esteem, and the need for sexual compatibility are interconnected factors that shape the dynamics of relationships. The real challenge lies in recognizing and respecting these needs, promoting an environment where both partners can feel emotionally safe and fulfilled. Aspect number 2. Behavioral suggestions and preferences. The way women express interest or disinterest often manifests itself through subtle signals, which can go unnoticed by those who are not aware of the nuances of nonverbal communication. Eye contact, for example, plays a fundamental role. When a woman avoids looking directly into the eyes, it often indicates a lack of interest or discomfort regarding the situation. On the other hand, keeping your gaze fixed, with intensity and frequency, is usually a clear sign of attraction and involvement. These subtleties, although they may seem simple, are crucial aspects of understanding interpersonal dynamics and establishing genuine connections. Another relevant factor is the importance of erogenous zones. Many people mistakenly believe that female attraction is limited to obvious physical aspects, but the reality is that areas such as legs, breasts, and neck play a significant role in the sensory experience. Understanding these sensitive points and knowing how to explore them in a respectful and consensual way can deepen the connection between partners, creating a more meaningful and pleasurable experience. Small gestures, such as a subtle touch on the neck or a delicate kiss in strategic locations, can make all the difference in building a satisfying intimate relationship. Another fascinating aspect of female behavior is related to the consumption of erotic content. Studies show that couples who watch pornography together tend to report higher levels of commitment and satisfaction in their relationships. This practice, when approached in a healthy and open way, can strengthen complicity and understanding of each other's preferences and desires. Sharing experiences of this nature contributes to creating an environment where communication becomes more fluid and free from judgment, allowing both partners to explore their fantasies in a safe and comfortable way. Furthermore, women's body language reveals a lot about their emotional state and level of interest. Small signs, like pointing your toes in someone's direction, repetitively touching your hair, or leaning slightly toward the other person, are subtle indications that there's a potential connection. Being attentive to these gestures allows a more accurate reading of the situation and facilitates interaction in a natural way, without forcing or misinterpreting the signals sent. Stoicism, a philosophy that values emotional understanding and control, can be a powerful tool for interpreting and reacting to these signals in a balanced way. By adopting a more observant and reflective stance, it is possible to avoid hasty interpretations or exaggerated reactions to other people's behavior. Seneca, one of the main names in Stoicism, emphasized the importance of observing reality clearly, without getting carried away by unrealistic impulses or expectations. By understanding these behavioral nuances, relationships can be conducted with greater authenticity and mutual respect. Correctly interpreting the signals a woman offers, respecting her space and time, is essential to building a healthy and satisfying connection. Small details, such as a long look or a casual touch, can be the key to uncovering feelings and intentions that are not always expressed in words. Therefore, paying attention to subtle cues, respecting limits, and adopting a reflective and empathetic approach are attitudes that contribute to deeper and more meaningful relationships. After all, understanding others is a constant exercise in patience, sensitivity, and self-knowledge. Aspect number 3. Sexual tendencies and preferences. In addition to behavioral and emotional aspects, female sexual preferences present unique characteristics that evolve throughout life. As time passes, many women discover new forms of pleasure and become more confident about their desires. During the 40s to 50s age group, for example, the intensity of orgasms can become more pronounced, largely due to hormonal changes and a greater knowledge of one's own body. This period is marked by growing confidence, resulting from the experience gained over the years, which leads to a more open and conscious approach to one's own sexuality. Another important factor to consider is the increase in sexual fantasies in your 30s. This period of life is often associated with a search for new experiences and a greater openness to exploring casual relationships. With maturity, many women begin to better understand their needs and expectations, allowing themselves to experience more spontaneous and authentic moments. Thus, the search for pleasure becomes less associated with social norms and more focused on personal fulfillment, reflecting a paradigm shift in relation to female sexuality. On the other hand, clothing choices play a significant role in expressing sexuality. Contrary to what many imagine, the way women dress is not necessarily related to trying to attract the male gaze. In reality, factors such as mood, environment, menstrual cycle, and even daily routine influence decisions about what to wear. Thus, clothing becomes an extension of identity and emotional state, reflecting the need for comfort and authenticity at different moments in life. Furthermore, the relationship between sexual activity and physical health is an aspect that cannot be ignored. Studies indicate that an active sex life is directly linked to a series of health benefits, including strengthening the immune system and increasing female vitality. The release of endorphins and other hormones during intercourse contributes to a general feeling of well-being, helping to reduce stress and anxiety, as well as improving sleep quality and strengthening the emotional bonds between partners. In doing so, practicing Stoicism can offer a valuable perspective for understanding and balancing these preferences and tendencies. Stoic philosophy teaches how to live in harmony with nature itself, promoting acceptance of changes and the development of a more resilient mindset. Just as Marco Aurelio defended the idea that we should embrace each phase of life with serenity, it is essential to recognize that sexuality is an aspect in constant transformation, which must be explored with curiosity and self-respect. Ultimately, understanding these tendencies and preferences allows for a more aligned and satisfying relationship, where open communication and acceptance of one's needs play an essential role. Creating a safe space to explore desires and expectations is key to ensuring an authentic and enriching connection. In this way, female sexuality can be lived fully, without constraints and with the freedom to be who you really are. Aspect number 4. Psychological and emotional aspects. When it comes to women's emotions, it is essential to understand that several factors influence the way women connect emotionally with others. The search for healthy, energetic men, for example, is rooted in primitive instincts for security and survival. Instead of a superficial attraction to exaggerated muscles, female preference tends to fall towards partners who demonstrate vitality, disposition, and emotional balance. This connection with individuals who radiate positive energy and stability contributes to a sense of security and emotional support that is valued throughout life. Furthermore, nonverbal communication reveals a lot about women's feelings. Small changes in the tone and speed of the voice can be clear signs of interest, conveying emotions that are often not expressed in words. This natural sensitivity to subtle communication is a powerful tool in developing deep, authentic bonds. The challenge, however, lies in recognizing and responding appropriately to these signals, promoting a relationship based on understanding and reciprocity. Another significant issue is the impact of emotional intimacy on a relationship. Experiences like choosing lingerie together may seem simple, but they play an important role in building desire and confidence. These situations create opportunities for a deeper connection, allowing both partners to feel valued and understood. The importance of moments like these is not just in aesthetics or functionality, but in the way they promote intimacy and reinforce emotional bonds. Still, the fear of being alone is a reality faced by many women. This fear can lead to impulsive decisions and staying in relationships that do not offer true emotional growth. The need for social acceptance and cultural pressure often hinder the ability to allow oneself moments of solitude and self-discovery. However, by understanding that loneliness can also be an opportunity for self-knowledge, it is possible to find the strength to build healthier and more satisfying relationships. In this sense, Stoicism offers valuable lessons about controlling emotions and accepting reality as it is. Philosophers such as Epictetus teach that true freedom comes from the ability to accept that which cannot be controlled, focusing on personal development, and that which is within the reach of one's own influence. When applying these principles to female emotions, one realizes that the search for emotional security does not need to be a source of anxiety, but rather a path to inner growth. Understanding these emotional aspects is essential to establishing more balanced and enriching relationships. Recognizing your own emotions and the needs of others is an ongoing practice that requires patience and empathy. This way, it is possible to cultivate genuine connections based on mutual respect and the appreciation of shared experiences, making each interaction more meaningful and strengthening the bonds that really matter. Aspect number 5 and last and biggest secret: biological curiosities and insights in the fascinating universe of female biology. There are several surprising aspects that reveal the complexity and resilience of a woman's body. One of the most striking is the fact that female orgasms do not have an expiration date. Reports from women in their 90s who still experience sexual pleasure demonstrate that the connection with one's sexuality can be maintained throughout life. This phenomenon highlights the importance of self-knowledge and emotional health, which play fundamental roles in maintaining intimate well-being, regardless of age. Furthermore, the time dedicated to choosing clothing is another interesting aspect of female behavior. On average, women spend 15 to 20 minutes a day deciding what to wear. This process, which may seem trivial to some, reflects the need to express individuality and the influence of emotional and situational factors on daily choices. Clothing is not just a matter of style, but a reflection of personality, mood, and the context in which they are inserted. Another curious fact involves the biological composition of sperm. Studies indicate that it contains essential minerals, such as zinc and calcium, which have properties that help prevent cavities. This discovery, although little discussed, highlights the intricate relationship between the human body and the various benefits that can be explored from its natural functions. On a more delicate note, the relationship between arousal and emotional states also reveals intriguing nuances. Some women may experience episodes of depression after moments of intense excitement or intimacy. This reaction, often misinterpreted, is related to hormonal and emotional fluctuations that accompany the cycle of pleasure and emotional surrender. Awareness of these variations is essential to promoting a more empathetic and understanding approach to women's emotional needs. Stoicism, as a philosophy of life, offers a valuable perspective on how to deal with these issues in a balanced way. Seneca stated that understanding one's emotions and accepting them without resistance is a path to serenity. By applying this principle, it is possible to face hormonal and emotional fluctuations with a more rational and resilient approach, promoting a healthier relationship with one's own body and with others. In addition to these biological curiosities, it is interesting to note how the female body is designed to adapt and evolve throughout life. The ability to experience pleasure, express oneself through appearance, and face emotional challenges demonstrates a woman's incredible resilience. Understanding these aspects allows both women and men to develop a deeper appreciation of feminine complexities, promoting more respectful and healthy relationships. Ultimately, exploring these biological curiosities and insights is an invitation to recognize the richness of the female experience in all its forms. Every detail, no matter how small, contributes to the construction of a unique and powerful identity, capable of facing challenges and enjoying the joys that life provides. So, have you ever heard about psychological insights into women and intimacy? Did you know it existed? Share in the comments if you've been through this, or if you know the story of someone you know who has felt something like this. I'll help you in the comments. Now that you've come this far, you already have a clear understanding of the psychological, emotional, and biological aspects that involve the female universe. Understanding these nuances not only helps you avoid common mistakes, but also allows you to create more authentic and meaningful connections. Remember that the real key to having better relationships with women lies in patience, observation, and above all, understanding. The tips and reflections covered here are just the beginning. The journey to building solid relationships requires a willingness to continually learn, respect differences, and apply Stoic principles in everyday life. It's not about having all the answers, but about being open to new perspectives, understanding that each interaction brings an opportunity for growth and learning. If you want to further deepen your knowledge, continue exploring the available content and apply the concepts covered in your life. So, now that you know more about female psychology and the secrets of love, the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? The answer is in your hands. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the next content. Until the next video.